I've got to make sure that when I play an important note, a note that's loud, or a note that's long, or a note that lands on the beat, that should be a good note. And I use the other wrong notes just to lead in to the right notes. I'll give you a classic example of how this works. Or if you like watching people on the internet trying to break the world record, there are people who do that. But there's a lot of chromatic movement, and yet when you hear it, I think you know. You know it's in A minor, or whatever key it's actually in. So here's an interesting thing. Let's take out every other note. So instead of those are the notes that are actually on the main beats and the eighth notes in between. So that's the skeleton. So because the good notes, the notes that are rhythmically important, they belong to the chord. And all the chromatic notes, all the ugly stuff, they come in between, and that's why it works. I hope you believe me. So a couple of things you might want to try if you want to explore the chromatic stuff. You might use a series of chromatic notes to connect some pentatonic notes. That's an easy way to start playing like this. Steve Morse quite likes that. Those kind of licks. And really it's... but with... fill in the gaps. So you might use some of those in your playing. You might just use one chromatic note to approach a note that's in the chord. Which is in fact so with that it's just so chromatic approach notes but never on the beat, always somewhere more subtle within the rhythm of the music. So you could try working on those, and then if you want to play a whole phrase that's outside, that's just like zooming out. So that instead of thinking about one chromatic note, you could have a whole chromatic lick. But it's always about right note, wrong note, right note at the end. So it could be... so something like that, it's just one note. Or I could go... and so long as what you're playing can flow naturally back into the right key, it sounds like you know what you're doing.